It is Tuesday, June 15th. I'm Sam Seder.
And I'm Lucie Steiner. Which one of these stories will you be talking about today?
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said on Monday that he wouldn't even consider letting Biden seat a new Supreme Court justice if the Republicans take back the Senate in 2022. Meanwhile, the Biden administration said that it supports a new resolution to end the 2002 Authorization of Use of Military Force. And lastly, Texas may be headed for another major power crisis as the state's fragile power grid expects record use in June.
You're listening to Majority.fm's AM Quickie, and these are the stories you need to know.
Mitch McConnell has thrown down the gauntlet, and the Democrats are, well, sort of just standing there looking at it. In an interview on conservative talk radio, McConnell said that if Republicans take back the Senate, he would block any prospective Supreme Court nominee that Biden sent him. This is not exactly a surprise. McConnell pretended that his resistance to a new nominee would be from his typical election year nonsense, saying that he'd block a nominee in 2024 just like he did in 2016 at the end of the Obama years. But we all know what the score is. McConnell's life's work is the judiciary, and he's done a very good job of securing it for the business-friendly, person-hostile policies of conservatives for generations to come. But what it does indicate is just how futile any Democratic expectations of bipartisanship have become. It also means that the party has to be looking for 82-year-old Stephen Breyer to retire while there's still a chance of getting a liberal replacement confirmed. There's a permanent solution to all this, of course, packing the court. But McConnell knows that Democrats and liberal justices on the bench already don't have the guts. He said this about Justice Breyer, quote, "I do want to give him a shout out, though, because he joined what Justice Ginsburg said in 2019, that 9 is the right number for the Supreme Court, and I admire him for that. I think even the liberal justices on the Supreme Court have made it clear that court packing is a terrible idea." Glad to see everyone's on the same page. The Biden administration made a huge announcement on Monday. It formally supports a push by Representative Barbara Lee to end the 2002 Authorization for Use of Military Force. The 2002 AUMF, as it's called, is the legal document we use to justify invading Iraq. In the years since, it's been trotted out as evidence that the U.S. can legally engage in all kinds of military activities all around the world. It's a disgrace that it was ever passed, of course, but it's an even bigger disgrace that it hasn't been repealed yet. So the fact that it may finally get tossed is a good thing. However, it doesn't mean a whole lot as far as the U.S. wars overseas go. The Biden administration statement itself notes that, quote, "The United States has no ongoing military activities that rely solely on the 2002 AUMF as a domestic legal basis, and repeal of the 2002 AUMF would likely have minimal impact on current military operations." In other words, all our bombing and killing overseas is going to be just fine. That's because the 2002 order isn't only the AUMF. There was another one in 2001 after 9/11 that's even more broad. And in recent years, presidents haven't even needed the AUMFs to do what they want. They've been able to pursue narrower military actions at their own discretion, thanks to the steady increase in executive power since Bush was elected. Biden's statement does note that the administration wants to work with Congress to replace these so-called outdated orders, but it's pretty clear that its ability to wage war isn't going to be affected all that much.
Majority.fm's AM Quickie is fueled by JustCoffee.coop. Just Coffee is a worker-owned coffee roaster based in Madison, Wisconsin that has sponsored the Majority Report for nearly a decade. Check out their collection of fair trade roasts, including our own Majority Report blend. And regardless of what you order, receive 10% off your order when you use the code MAJORITY at checkout. And all shipping is free. That's coupon code MAJORITY at JustCoffee.coop.
Another power crisis is shaping up in Texas, this time due to the massive summer heat wave rolling through the state. ERCOT, the state's energy grid operator, asked customers on Monday to conserve as much energy as possible, as many of its generators were down for repairs. On top of that, ERCOT estimated that June could see record-breaking demand for power. This is a very similar situation to the disastrous, deadly outages in Texas this winter, when millions went without power during a brutal cold snap. Now, ERCOT's customers are once again facing the prospect of blackouts, this time as temperatures spike to over 90 degrees in much of the state. ERCOT is asking Texans to set thermostats to 78 degrees or higher, turn off lights, and avoid using large appliances until the end of the week. Those steps might help, but it's not really the everyday consumer's job to fix Texas's hugely unstable energy grid. Austin's local NPR affiliate reports that experts have warned power problems like this will keep happening unless the state moves away from coal and gas generators and overhauls its wildly deregulated system. Until then, the government is basically forcing regular Texans to bear the heat.
And now for some quicker quickies.
Quicker Quickie.
Meanwhile, a driver plowed into protesters in Minneapolis late on Sunday night, killing one and injuring several others, in a similar attack to the ones that menaced protests last summer. The crowd was protesting the death of Winston Boogie Smith Jr., 33-year-old black man who was killed by U.S. Marshals on June 3rd. President Biden gave his first speech to NATO on Monday. The key issues looming over the Cold War-era alliance are Ukraine's possible entry into the group, especially ahead of Biden's upcoming summit with Russia's Vladimir Putin. In his speech, Biden stressed that he wasn't looking for a confrontation with Putin. Well, I guess we'll see how that goes. Good news. Reality Winner is out of prison. Former intelligence contractor who was prosecuted for leaking state secrets to The Intercept regarding Russia's interference in the 2016 election was released to a halfway house on Monday, this according to her lawyer. Washington Post analysis found that coronavirus infections are dropping where most people have been vaccinated and rising where they are not. That may seem obvious, but it underscores just how far some states and communities have to go to keep their constituents safe.
Quicker Quickie.
That's all for the AM Quickie. Join us this afternoon at noon live for the Majority Report or later as a podcast.